A big impact. They pulled one back, but then the game slightly fizzled out. It looked like there was two tired teams by the end, didn't it?
Yeah, the Danes did look a little bit leggy at the end there, but like the Czechs did, they brought on Kremenchik, and you know the two up front to help Patrick Schick. It kind of worked a bit. They kind of got forward a little bit more, put them under a bit more pressure, and the goal came like I expected to. Cross, and Patrick Schick finished it very, very well.
It doesn't have to be a massive amount of movement from Schick, does it? Ian?
No, this is why I'm very surprised that they didn't start like this in the first place, because when you look at the distance in which he's crossing it from, you know, it's a ball in there and bam, you know, he's just got in front of the defender and he's scored a goal. It seems pretty simple. But what they weren't doing in the first half, they were stopping Soufal from getting forward. Because you see, he'll cross it from there. He ain't bothered about that because you know that Schick, like we showed at the start of the show, he's in the middle of the goal and he'll do that. He'll finish.
Just one of those, when you look back at it, you'll wonder from the Czechs' point of view whether they shouldn't have started with this formation because they really occupied the Danish defence in the second half.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in that clip as well, you see Souček closer to the box as well, which I was surprised they didn't capitalise on that. I have to say, I think the quality into the box, knowing that crossing was the Czech Republic's strength, the quality into the box was quite poor in the second half. There's a lot of crosses that weren't beating the first man. They lacked quality, they tired. And I think Denmark were able to hold on.
It's a remarkable achievement, everything that's happened, losing the first two games and the Christian Eriksen incident as well. To win the next three and reach the semi-final, it says a lot about them, doesn't it?
Yeah, they really, really improved. As we know, they showed that real togetherness. But I think Denmark deserved to progress to the next round. I think in moments where they suffered and they was under pressure, I think, you know, they come out of them spells, you know, they played with patience, they dictated and looked after the ball a little bit better. But then, you know, they've took their chances ultimately.
I still feel that you can't really be too surprised with the Danes. They've conceded the fewest shots on goal and they've scored and they've hit the target the second most in the tournament. So we knew they were going to start well, and they do start well. I was just a little bit worried about the way they finished that game, to be honest. They looked a bit leggy, so that'd be interesting to watch them.
All I would say is they came off the beach literally in 1992 to win it. Yeah. Whoever they play on Wednesday, could be Ukraine, could be England, I wouldn't be taking them lightly. They've already had one remarkable European Championship triumph in their history.
No, you wouldn't take them lightly. But at the same time, you know, yes, we know what's happened with Christian Eriksen, but they've got a very good team. And yes, if Christian Eriksen's in there, they probably do even better. But they will do OK without him, like they've shown.
What about the Czechs overall, then? We knew about the quality of Souček and Soufal, and when they poured on Kremenchik, it had an impact. I mean, to reach a quarter-final when you're ranked 40 in the world, you'd have to look at it and say that's a pretty reasonable Euros for them.
Yeah. I think, you know, overall, they've played well in moments. They've got to a quarter-final. They've just fell a little bit short with, you know, maybe the lack of quality. I think Patrick Schick was brilliant throughout, but I think he needed a little bit more help up there as well. And ultimately, you know, you go out at this stage for that.
Patrick Schick has 5 goals, so he and Ronaldo joint top when it comes to the Golden Boot at the Euros with 5 each. Benzema 4, Forsberg 4 and Lukaku 4. None of those are still around in the Euros. I'll tell you who is still about, though, the Italians. You might have seen this on social media. Brilliant game at Munich last night, and they beat Belgium by 2-1. Spinazzola got injured. I think he snapped his Achilles late on. Here the Italians celebrating, but we can just hear one of them gets on the intercom. Here we go. It shows what a great togetherness they've got there, haven't they, in the Italian camp?
Incredible togetherness, and they will have the pride of their nation behind them. You know, what Mancini has done. I think it's 32
unbeaten.
It's incredible what Mancini has done to turn it around. We know Italy in major tournaments haven't always made it, but that is an amazing team with a rock solid defence in Chiellini and Bonucci as well. You know, I think they may go all the way, Italy.
The story continues at the moment for Denmark, that's for sure. Let's have a look at the 2 goals. The first of it actually shouldn't have been a corner because it quite clearly came off the Dane and should have been a goal kick. But having said that, Annie, you've still got to have to defend it. Yes, the assistant, the referee made a mess of that, but you've still got to defend better than this.
Yeah, exactly. We spoke before the game. We said set pieces could separate the two teams. Denmark here have capitalised. Obviously, Czech really poor marking. But if you look here, Callas and Borgil both get attracted ball watching. They're both meant to be marking. Vestergaard goes in there, they get dragged in. I love this from Delaney. Sometimes you don't need to move. You just need to stand still. He stands still in the box, watches the movement around him, goal. But, you know, Ash will know from a defensive point of view, that's poor marking, right?
Yeah, you know, Czech Republic would have really, before the game, nailed down little details, you know, on set plays. And for me, the lack of communication, the lack of organisation around that was terrible. I think they were flat-footed. They couldn't adjust, you know, in positions where they couldn't react.
Ashley, everybody else is man for man. Why wouldn't Callas and Borja just go man for man on Vestergaard and Delaney there?
They might have, you know, thought that these are two strong headers of the ball. You don't want to sometimes be man-to-man because you might get scared of a little block. But here, Delaney, he's not even had to jump. So for him, it's beautiful. But again, all the work they would have done going into this game, you know, set plays, the organisation, is not right. Something's gone wrong. You know, lack of communication is, for me, key.
One of them's lost their mark. One of them's not doing their job. One of them's been attracted to the ball instead of their player.
I feel like Callas, who's been having a good tournament, would have taken Vestergaard. It didn't seem right. He's pointing to some... I don't know what he's pointing at, but for him and Borville to go towards...
Well, you thought Callas was obviously a good header of the ball as the centre-half.
Takes
their centre-half.
It's just bad marking. It's terrible.
You picked out Dolberg beforehand, but Mailer, who's had a brilliant tournament, the Atalanta fullback, is magnificent in this.
Yeah, along with Spinazzola, he's been fantastic in this tournament. He scored the last couple of games, but that probably one of the passes of the tournament so far for me. You know, you look at again Czech Republic, they're so high. You know what I mean? Loads of space behind. You know what I mean? I don't think they've done a lot of homework on Mailer because he's been doing that all tournament, and that is a fantastic ball for Dolberg, who you know is going to get in the box, and even though it's come off his kind of like his ankle, he's close enough in there. It's a good enough ball. You don't need to do too much on it and just direct it on goal. Brilliant.
Why would Sofal get sucked in like that as a fullback?
I think it's great movement. You know, he wants that space in behind, so he's give that, you know, that position where come to receive the ball, created that space in behind, and he's just sucked him in. You know, as a fullback, sometimes you get tight to try and win the ball. But for me, it's great movement, great timing, great weight of the pass, and then the cross is unbelievable.